The travel season is officially underway here at LakePoint Sports. It's prep baseball season opener weekend here at the Baseball Village, and we're excited to bring you coverage of our game of the day between the 6-4-3 DP Jaguars and Hitter Park Hurricanes. I'm Cory McCartney. We'll be eyeing a 10 a.m. first pitch on this one as pool play continues in the 14U division. I'll be joined along the way by Will Hoogendyk and Jack McCartney. Now, while these players are just on the cusp of their high school careers in the heat of their travel campaigns, our fields have already proved a key point in baseball journey for so many players. That's the case for now Georgia outfielder Ty Peoples, a Franklin County 2025, who joined me ahead of a recent game at Kennesaw State to look back at his days here at LakePoint Sports. Here with Georgia outfielder Ty Peoples, a guy who made a major impact over the years at LakePoint Sports, getting ready to play a game against Kennesaw State. Ty, man, good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Think about an all-state run at Franklin County. You were a two-time prep baseball All-American, 2023 LakePoint Sports Player of the Year. You played so many games on our field. When you start thinking about memories, national championships in a Divine uniform, tell me about what really sticks out.
I think just going back to those times is just like having fun and just being around guys who you grew up with and guys who you met along the way, just like having fun during the summer and during the fall, like just going back and just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played and just playing it one pitch at a time and just having fun and not stressing.
I think back to 2022 tweet from Prep Baseball Georgia Scouts, and they said that they felt you had, at that time, a chance to be one of the most dynamic hitters in the Peach State. But I want to take it way, way back. I got to show you this. This is 2021. This is you for Divine Baseball, and this is an inside the park home run. Tell me what you think when you see this.
I do remember that morning the sun was absolutely blaring on that field, and I had to wear sunglasses. But yeah, no, that was like the first time I had ever seen myself like posted on social media. So like I was pretty surprised and excited at the same time. But man, that was a cool experience for the first time being just like with that team for the first time with Travis, and man, that's like where it all started, really.
If you had to go back and talk to that Ty about the journey that would be ahead, we're getting to the point you're at right now, what would you tell him?
Don't stress, have fun. Like where you're at right now, like, and where everyone else is at right now, you can't compare yourself to those people. You're your own player, and you should just have fun and just enjoy the experience, enjoy the ride, because what's to come is going to be super exciting. Just keep your head down.
And obviously, you go from being one of the top guys in the state now to kind of hit and reset a little bit. You got to find your way as a college freshman. What have been the challenges so far with these first few weeks at Georgia?
Just knowing your role. Like, as a freshman, like you obviously want to be like an impact player, but sometimes it doesn't go that way, and sometimes it's your time to do stuff, and sometimes it's not. So you have to kind of take a step back and know your role, and whether that's running, hopping in like late games, but just to know your impact and to be able to just learn as you go. We have a lot of veterans on this team, a lot of guys who've been in college for a little bit, and to just learn from them and what made them have success and how you can, put that into your game.
Well, Ty, listen, man, I appreciate it so much. Can't wait to see the journey.
Thank you.
Up with Ty, a two-time prep baseball All-American there at Kennesaw State. Man, that Mickey Dunn Stadium that they've really unveiled this year, just absolutely impressive. Have another of our Build at LakePoint series available on our social channels, so you can check that out with now Owls infielder Josh Gibbs, a product of Forsyth Central and the East Cobb Astros. We're going to take a quick break here in studio, and we'll cut to our field view, and we'll rejoin you as soon as our game gets underway here between 6-4-3 DP Jaguars and Hitter Park Hurricanes. Welcome in, Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk with you here as we got coverage of 643 DP Jaguars against Hitters Park Hurricanes from the season opener here at LakePoint Sports. Will, again, good to see you. We got Jack McCartney back on the ones and twos there as our producer. Will, how are you?
I'm doing well. Excited for some 14U baseball.
Jack, you ready?
See.
All right. Yeah, excited to bring you this one. Lucas Joyner going to start things off on the mound here for Hitters Park Hurricanes. One of the wrinkles that we always have in these early season spring games is teams playing a doubleheader. Sometimes difficult to get their lineups until the game's actually underway. So we will bring you our Windscreen Factory starting lineups as soon as we can. But we do know the lineup for 643 DP Jaguar. This is the Panthers. Jaguars, Panthers. They got a whole bunch of squads there.
It's like an NFL game.
It really is. So 643 DP Panthers. Carter Chillian's going to lead things off for them, the second baseman. Luke Townsend, the shortstop, will hit second, and then it's Evan Odell, the left fielder, and hitting fourth, Gray Cheever, the center fielder. Andrew Mullins, the third baseman, hitting fifth. Hitting sixth is Ike Ellers, extra hitter. Hitting seventh is Cade Suniga, extra hitter. Brody Lopez, the pitcher, will hit eighth. Bates Rabin, right fielder, hitting ninth. Trent Skaronko, the catcher, hits 10th, and Ellis Freeman, the first baseman, will hit 11th. And the aforementioned Carter Chillian will lead things off here. Again, Lucas Joyner on the mound for Hitters Park, Richards Christian Academy 2030. Nothing starts to make you feel old until you see 2030 on somebody's graduation year.
Yeah, there is one guy on each team that's 2029, but otherwise,
yeah,
everyone else is 2030. And yes, I have to agree with you there.
Carter Chillian, as I mentioned, at the plate for 643 Walton 2030. Seventh prep baseball event for Carter. It's the Rising Stars ID at Kennesaw State in November.
And both these teams coming out of the Pool B. There are 4 pools in this bracket, 14 teams for the 14U level.
I believe 9 of them, if I looked at the bracket correctly, will advance to the gold bracket. The other will play in the silver and bronze. 2-1 count here to Chillian.
Almost looks like we're watching a inter-squad scrimmage with both these colors. Like,
yeah, it is.
The colors are the exact same.
Yeah, I'm not used to that. Jack may be able to chime in on this a little bit because I know he's a little bit more hip to all the travel uniforms. Jack, I don't know that I've ever seen 643 wearing this shade of blue. No? I'll take your silence as confirmation. So now full count here to Chillian. Typically 643 wears the dark blue along with their orange, not the Ole Miss-esque blue.
Well, baby blue is very in. I mean, we've seen how many major league teams have done it in the past few years.
Chillian puts that in play. It's going to be a pop out into right field, be the first out of the inning. Pink was the big in color for us last summer. But maybe baby blue, maybe this is the forebear to a big baby blue spring and summer for us here.
They might be the trendsetters.
Or maybe it's just like a spring color, you know. It's got you get your Easter-esque colors in. Now go to Luke Townsend. Townsend playing in his 15th prep baseball event.
And that hit him, yeah.
Hit by pitch. So a guy who is used to our base pass gets his way down to first base to start off as, again, his 15th prep baseball. You get to a certain point where you just put guys on payroll. Once they hit a certain number, it's like, you know, they just get
a stipend per tournament.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This will be Evan Odell with now runner at first. Evan, another Walton, soon to be Raider 2030. 7th event for him on our fields. Joyner misses low.
And I mentioned both these teams come from the Pool B bracket. And Hitters Park is already 1-0 today. They started at 8 a.m. and they played the Roswell Pirates and won 7-2, I believe was the final score of that game.
Yes, 7 players with RBIs for them in that one. So no big blows, but they were all contributing in that 7-2 victory.
All chipping away. And, Cory, another thing we're going to be talking a lot about in the broadcast.
That's right.
Not related to this particularly, but is the World Baseball Classic, as that started on Wednesday. The first game was between Chinese Taipei and Australia. And games, I think there was almost every team played yesterday. And there's a bunch more games today. The first one was at 5 a.m., which is kind of funny.
Jeez, yeah.
Korea is playing twice today on our time. They played at 5 a.m., then they'll play again at 10 p.m.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that interesting to think about?
Not a lot of off time for those guys.
Mm-mm.
Just go, catch a nap, eat an Uncrustable, and get right back out
Pretty
there.
much.
I don't know if those guys eat. Where are they playing those games at?
They're playing in Tokyo. I was just going to
Okay.
look up what the time difference in
Yeah.
Tokyo is.
I believe it's like, I think 8 hours.
8 hours. Okay.
That's my guess. I'm pretty sure. Could be wrong.
Got a 3-1 count here to Evan Odell again, soon to be Walton 2030. And there's so many LakePoint ties to the World Baseball Classic, and we're going to talk a lot about that along here during this broadcast. But man, especially that U.S. team, you got Roman Anthony, who's played on these fields. He was here with the Canes and IMG Academy. Bobby Witt Jr., who played on these fields years ago. Byron Buxton, who got in work here during COVID, and of course, Coach Mark DeRosa, who we've seen on these fields, coaching the Atlanta Braves scout team with his son Brooks. Assistant coach Freddie Gonzalez. Interestingly, Freddie was among the early investors here at LakePoint Sports. I actually learned about this place from Freddie. Was in the Braves dugout at then Turner Field, and he was telling me about this place up in northwest Metro Atlanta that he was going to be an investor in, along with Bobby Cox and Brian Jordan. And then here we are. I think he told me about that back in 2012, so a long time ago. Freddie Gonzalez told me about this place. Strikeout there. Odell is the victim as Lucas Joyner gets the second out of the inning. I'll take us from Odell to Gray Cheever. Cheever, a Lassiter, 23rd. This is his 14th prep baseball bat. But a lot of the guys in the Hitters Park team, maybe first, second, a lot of these guys on the 6-4-3, because they're staples here, it's into the teens for a lot of these players. And Jack certainly knows this. That plays a factor when it rains here. One thing we truly watch and notice on these fields is you'll slide right over top of the bag when things get wet. The guys who have been here know that. The guys that don't, you'll see them sliding across the bag on stolen base attempts and trying to push a single into a double or double into a triple. So we'll see if that comes to play a part here. Are some storm clouds off in the distance, but not expecting anything, I don't think, weather-wise until later on today. Of course, we had some storms last night, so maybe a little, but these fields drain exceptionally well, so it may not be much of an issue.
Well, it almost reminds me of the way golfers will adjust to greens.
Yes.
If they're a little wetter, they'll have to adjust or dry, and depending on the roll. So players that have played here will know that, like you said. Jack, you were close. Not really, though. 14-hour difference.
Okay, 14 hours.
14 hours ahead.
Right.
So they're about 20 minutes into Sunday.
Okay, well, thanks for getting my hopes up.
Yeah, if you guys, I don't know if you guys watched that. Lucas Joyner definitely thought he had an inning strikeout. That one is driven over top center fielder's Purvey, and that's going to head all the way to the wall, and we're going to have a double, and then we're going to have more than that. Cheever making his way to third, and he's going to have himself an RBI stand-up triple in 6-4-3. He's got themselves on the board here in the top of the first.
I mean, hit it right to that Dr. Pepper sign.
That's
right.
right
In the middle of both the fielders. So, like you said, stand up, and it wasn't hard for him to get there.
Another thing to watch is we always take this in mind when we have 14 new players. Some of these guys transitioning to bigger fields, so they may not know how to play the ball in depth in a field like this, these major league size fields. So we see a lot of balls going all the way to the warning track, and that results in extra bases, and we saw Gray Cheever more than take advantage on that one. So after Cheever, we now have got Andrew Mullins at the plate, the third baseman. Mullins, Holy Innocents 2030.
And Cory, to what you were saying, because this tournament's 11U to 14U, when I was driving in, I saw these fields over here, and they had those shorter fences.
Temporary,
right?
yeah.
I'm sure it feels like they could get lost out there, those
That's right.
outfielders, when they first are adjusting to that.
Yeah, even my own son playing for USA Scout, when he moved over to these fields, just getting them to get used to a double relay to get the ball in was even a transition. It's just such change for these guys going from these these sometimes rec fields to go into these major league size ones it's a big switch.
But it also helped prepare them for, a lot of these guys are going into high school in the fall, and so get them have, at least one summer under their belt of, taking a lot more steps than you're used to in the outfield, or doing that double cutoff like you're saying.
2-1 count here. Mullins at the plate. Joyner on the mound. Almost ripped that foul. Some more LakePoint connections there to that Team USA World Baseball Classic roster. I mentioned Mark DeRosa, Freddie Gonzalez on the coaching staff. George Lombard and Matt Holliday, both assistants, have had sons come through these fields. Of course, we've had Jacob Lombard, #1 player in the class of 2026, has been on these fields many times, and Matt Holliday's sons, Ethan and Jackson, were here many times throughout their prep career. So I'm expecting he's got another son as well. So I jokingly told Matt in an engagement we had at the Prep Baseball American game that once his third son comes up, he's allowed to qualify for farm league status. He's allowed to be an official affiliate. Joyner gets that inning-ending strikeout. Tripped myself up there, but not tripping up on Joyner after that pitch. We're through half an inning. 1-0 is the 6-4-3 DP lead when we come back from LakePoint Sports.
Hey, this is Dominic Rossi, LakePoint athlete, and today I'm testing out the new Rawlings Cloud AI. All right, let's do it. There we go. Real whippy. It's a good oppo piece. Oh yeah. Huge sweet spot. Oh, this bat looks sick. It's one of the better looking bats I've seen. And neon green and blue with the grip tape matching. It's oppo gap. This bat's light. It's one of the lighter bats I've swung for sure. No, I'm good with that. Alright. Just got done taking a couple swings with the Rawlings Cloud AI. It's one of the more balanced one pieces, and I usually wasn't a fan of one pieces until now, but really like this bat. So the balance on this bat's definitely not end loaded. It's really balanced. It's really light in my hands, and it actually has for one piece, it actually has a pretty big sweet spot. It almost feels like the Icon sweet spot, but it's a lot lighter, so I like that. I've barreled up a few in the cage and in the games, and it just comes off very easily, like effortless pop from this bat. The design on this bat's pretty cool. Has like 2 different shades of green with the light blue letters, and then I got the light blue grip tape too. So
Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. 6-4-3 DP leading 1-0. Starting pitcher for Hitters Park Hurricanes, Lucas Joyner leading things off. He's facing Brody Lopez out of Alatoona, 2030. Playing his 7th prep baseball event on the mound for 6-4-3 DP Panthers. Joyner to be followed by Andrew Hilberger and then Will Potts. We did get the lineup for Hitters Park Hurricanes, so momentarily we'll run you through that Windscreen Factory starting lineup. Got Lopez on the profile. He had a fastball around 66, but we're seeing that's already been elevated as he goes. A 68-mile-an-hour fastball to that breaker. Counts 1-2. Like the low setup here from Lopez.
Does a lot to change that ball height when you're, as a batter, looking at that at the delivery, just trying to focus on the ball. It's going to take you probably an at-bat or two just to get used to that.
And not a lot of wasted movement in Lopez's mechanics. Kind of has that look of a position player pitching, but it's effective nonetheless as he gets Joyner on strikes. Now 1 down, and here does come Andrew Hilberger.
Well, and it looks so nonchalant, too.
Yeah.
Like he's not even really trying, and then he'll, strike you out just like he did there.
Hilberger steps in, a lefty out of Cambridge. 2nd prep baseball event for him. That's a strike, and Sometimes the most effective thing a pitcher can do in this age group is just throw it across the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly allow your defense to work, but consistent strikes, name of the game here in 14U. That one is popped up. It's going to be into the glove of the right fielder, and that's out number 2.
And it almost looks like he flicks his wrist a little bit too when he's throwing it.
Low. I say low effort only for meaning that it doesn't look like he's throwing that.
Right.
There's not a lot into it, but he's certainly effective with these mechanics.
He's got
some down.
Got some snap there for sure.
Sure does. This will be Will Potts, Lambert 2030.
And Cory, again, in the last inning we were talking about the age of these guys, but I'm just looking through the birthdays of these, and the earliest one I think is April of 2011, Colton Carpenter on the Hurricanes. And I mean, I think I was, it would have been in my spring semester of first grade.
There you go.
So,
well, just the start, as I mentioned in our pregame of the baseball journey for so many of these guys. It's a big summer ahead for them. Ball's in play. Second base has it. Throws to first. A very quick inning for 6-4-3s. They set him down in order, and we did get that starting lineup. So let's bring up our Windscreen Factory starting lineup. We've already run through 6-4-3. Chilean, Townsend, Odell, Cheever, Mullins, Eller, Sanuga, Lopez, Rabin, Skaranko, and Freeman. Hitters Park Hurricanes. We just saw Lucas Joyner, Andrew Hilberger, and Will Potts. Next inning, we'll see James Lights. James Lights? Or James Lights?
I'm not sure exactly. His dad is one of the coaches. I'm not
We're going
sure.
James Lights. Reed Herring, Jack Raden, Shugart, Cooper Vaughn, Trent Daubie, Max Emily, and Caleb Frost. We'll take a break here in studio. We'll be back with so much more from the season opener.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com or see your local dealer for details.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. 6-4-3 DP Panthers leading 1-0 over Hitters Park. Getting themselves that lead off of a Gray Cheever triple in the first inning. Now turn things over. Where are we at in the order for them? We're now going to see Ike Ellers will lead things off, followed by Andrew Mullins and Ellis Freeman. Excuse me, Ellers, Sanuga, and Lopez. Just looking at their roster, not their starting lineup. Ellers got a 1-0 count. We already have a new pitcher in for Hitters Park.
I think that's Frost. It's hard to see the numbers on the back of their
It is,
jersey
number
because they're
13,
just ever so slightly outlined in the
they,
light blue.
They don't create these jerseys for our benefits. It's Caleb Frost who's taken over on the mound.
I gotta say though, I
Central
can't say I've
Forsyth.
ever seen the dark blue with the baby blue, but the black with the baby blue. But I think it looks good.
I do too. Jack, you didn't chime in the last time we were trying to have this conversation. Is baby blue the new color? So we had pink last year. And again, I asked you before. I've never seen 643 in this color before. So 1, is this new for 643? And 2, is light blue the color for the spring and summer ahead?
So to answer the 643 one, they got brand new uniforms. They're rolling them out this year. They
Nice.
had Georgia commit, Amari Griffin, Vanderbilt commit, Maceo White, and a whole bunch of other 643 athletes wear the uniforms and do kind of like a uniform reveal earlier last week.
Very cool.
And so they got this one, and then they have another one of the white ones that they'll be bringing out. And then the baby blue one. Baby blue's always been there. You've always loved baby blue.
Well,
everyone's always
Phillies,
loved baby blue. The Phillies, you've got Ole Miss. Everyone loves that Ole Miss baby blue. And I think people see it, they love it, so they just want to recreate it.
There you go. Caleb Frost gets Cade Tsunaga down on strikes for the first out. And there comes the opposing pitcher, Brody Lopez. Nice secondary stuff here from Frost. Saw him miss the handle on his first attempt on that pitch, but he dialed it in for sure against Tsunaga. Goes right back to it there and misses high.
And just looking at the Hitters Park Hurricane roster, it's pretty funny. I'm obviously with 14U age group. I mean, Frost is 4'11", 100 pounds, and he's got a teammate, or not a teammate, but a guy across the field, Deacon Fleury, who's 6'2", 170. The fact that those guys are sharing the same field just cracks me up.
Well, it's like that photo of Jose Altuve and Aaron Judge that everybody loves so much.
Yeah.
It's a game that knows no dimensional bounds.
Right. Or, I mean, Aaron Judge and pretty much anyone.
That's right.
He makes a lot of people look small.
Runner takes off. That throw was there in plenty of time. Just him trying to steal second. Now 2 outs. Nice throw down.
That was right on the money.
Mason Lancaster behind the plate for Hitters Park.
Out of East Forsyth. And that was the guy you were saying, Corey, wasn't even added to the roster until Thursday or just hadn't been updated?
Yeah. A late addition, at least, on our end for Hitters Park.
Well, that was a very, very good throw from him.
2-out walk. So Lopez makes his way down to first, and now we'll get Bates Rabin. Rabin and River Ridge 2030. Caleb Frost living on the edge there with that curveball. He's now got a runner at first. Last time we saw this, Lancaster threw the guy out at second. We'll see if a little more hesitation here with Lopez at first. This is Rabin's 8th event with us. It's in play, a dribbler, short has it. Flips to second in time, and that will bring an end to the inning. Take another quick break here in studio. 1-0 continues to be the lead for 6-4-3.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Talking about the World Baseball Classic, and Brazil's Joseph Contreras, a 17-year-old, the youngest player in the event, had the night of his life pitching against Team USA. And this is just a little bit of manifestation here in our studio. Let's roll the clip of Contreras here talking to me during the Georgia Dugout Club tournament. Your mind, no doubt, has to be, though, on the World Baseball Classic awaiting you. What's the excitement level like as you kind of sit a few weeks away from that event?
I mean, I was very excited to find out that I could actually, represent my mother's country. But right now, it's just keep preparing in these high school games, get the most out of it before I go out there, and just keep doing my thing, and hopefully, maybe face Aaron Judge or something.
There you go.
That'd be nice.
absolutely awesome stuff from Joseph Contreras, setting the stage, Will, for a really big night, and one that included a moment I know he's going to probably be talking about for his kids and his kids' kids.
Absolutely. He was one of 9 pitchers that Brazil used last night, and obviously Brazil could not pull out the win. They ended up losing 15-5, but his final line, 1 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, a run. One of those was earned, 3 walks. But obviously the big moment was that double play that he got Aaron Judge to ground into. And I remember talking to you after you did the interview with him, and you were saying how, that's one of the things he was preparing of. Oh, I might face the MVP, in the World Baseball Classic. And I was just thinking about what that mindset would be compared to his friends who are, probably worrying about their next algebra test or something.
So when we came into the Georgia Dugout Club tournament that first weekend and Blessed Trinity was playing, I ran into his catcher, Gavin Green, outside the entrance here at LakePoint. And I said something to him about Contreras, and he said, well, he's pitching tonight. And I said, oh, I wasn't sure what his usage was going to be right now as he gets ready for the World Baseball Classic. And he goes, no, I think we're going to pitch him around 60, 65 pitches. And I said, well, what's the conversations been like around him as he gets ready for this? He goes, well, I've been scouting everybody in the U.S. lineup and telling him exactly how to do guys. And I said, well, what are you telling him? He goes, well, I specifically told him how to get Aaron Judge out. And I said, well, what's that? How do you get Aaron Judge out?
What's the formula?
Yes, Gavin Green, high school catcher. How do you get a guy who's on his way to the Hall of Fame out? And he says, you pitch him inside and you finish him off with a forkball. And he had him in the situation, bases loaded, finished him off with that forkball and got him to ground into a double play. So, Nostradamus Green coming through and with the blueprint for Joseph Contreras to get the great Aaron Judge to ground out. 0-2 count here. Once again, Lopez on the mound. Lights now got a 1-2 count.
And Brazil will be back in action today against Italy. Italy will make their debut in this year's World Baseball Classic. And, with 9 pitchers used last night, you got to wonder if that's kind of going to be the strategy for Brazil. So maybe Contreras will get more action tonight.
Lights goes down on strikes, now 1 down. And we've mentioned so many of the ties already at LakePoint. Of course, Great Britain's Harry Ford out of North Cobb was here. He was a future gamer for Georgia, able to play for Great Britain through his family's ties, and now a Nationals prospect after having gotten traded from the Mariners. So a lot of LakePoint connections for the World Baseball Classic. None bigger than Joseph Contreras going basically from our fields to Houston to face Team USA.
Yeah. Pretty good reason to miss school.
That's right. And Jack, wasn't it that they said that he had done his math homework earlier that day and then went from that to getting ready for the game?
Yeah, he posted online about posted on Instagram. I'm pretty sure he was still doing schoolwork on the flight to Houston. And then earlier that day, he still had stuff to do. Right before he pitched against Byron Buxton,
unbelievable,
Bobby Witt Jr., Bryce Harper, and Aaron Judge.
Wow. Well, making quite the moment here is Jack Raiden Shugart. He's on his way to third. Is he going to hold there? Shugart slide into third. He's got himself a 2-out triple, and who knows, he may have been able to make a little bit more of that. I think his third base coach was trying to egg him on to get him to go all the way home. We get a nice triple celly there from Shugart. So Hitters Park here in business with 2 down in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Well, and that's the exact same spot that the last triple was hit to.
Yep.
Also a stand-up. Well, he slid on that one, but I don't think he necessarily needed to. Maybe
I think he could have made it. I think his third base coach was wheeling him. He wanted him to go. But everybody, so you get the inside the park home run, and you just got to run off the field. If you get the triple, you get to stand there and do your triple selling.
That's true.
So maybe it's more important to stop at third and unveil the team's triple celly in the first event of the year.
Well, and it's early too, so
That's
you're still working out the celebrations and
Well, the triple is the hardest to get in the cycle, so maybe Shugart's just checking a box,
playing the long game.
Yeah. This is Cooper Vaughn now, Lambert 20-30. Try to drive Shugart in and even this thing up. So, Jack, I know you're all over the WBC. When's Harry Ford's first game?
Today.
Harry Ford actually played yesterday. He had a home run yesterday.
Okay, there you go. Man, LakePoint coming through at the WBC. And I even saw during the broadcast last night when they were talking to Brooks, to Mark DeRosa, they had brought up Brooks at North Gwinnett playing in the same high school and travel circuit as Joseph Contreras. So a lot of LakePoint related name dropping going on during that broadcast. It's going to make it 2-2 count here to Vaughn.
Great Britain plays USA today.
Okay, well, there you go.
At 8 p.m., which will be really fun.
Who's starting pitcher for U.S. in that one?
Okay. So I'm also very excited as
That's
a Tigers
awesome.
fan.
Yeah, that's great. I was at the final game at Tiger Stadium.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was in college at Bowling Green, we went up there. Grew up going to a lot of Tigers games.
I'm a big fan of their new uniforms, I got to say.
Yeah.
Their new alternates.
The Motor City ones? Those are the City Connects.
Yeah, well, yeah, those are the City Connect, but they have the orange and navy ones now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we may have that's going to be trouble dropping down between the left fielder and shortstop. It's always a tough play, as now we're going to have it even things up here as Cooper Vaughn drives in Shugart. Of course, we're used to the shortstop being able to have that play. I think that even harkens back to not necessarily being used to playing these deeper fields. Maybe in the summertime when you're a little more accustomed to it, you might play a little bit further back. That shortstop's got a little more run into the outfield, but in that moment, nearly had a collision, both lay off, and we've got a tie game.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I mean, the left fielder in that scenario is not used to having to run in so far, and then the shortstop probably is getting used to how much space he has behind him. So yeah, just they'll need to work on the communication, but again, it's it's still early, so they'll figure that out.
Trent Daubie now at the plate. Lambert 2030. I'm sure it's probably Daub, but we're going to harken it back to Harry Potter, and he's going to be Trent Daubie. That one's popped into right field. That's going to bring it into the inning, but we are all tied up at 1-1. We'll be back. We've got so much more coming your way from LakePoint Sports.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast. All while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. All tied up at 1-1 as we move to the third inning here of our game of the day from the season opener. Now going to get our first look at the plate from Trent Skaronko, the 10th hitter in the order for 6'4", will be followed by Ellis Freeman, and we're back to the top of the order with Carter Chillian.
And it looks like Frost remains on the mound for Hitters Park.
An effective first inning for him, being the second inning of this game as he took over for Lucas Joyner.
Cory, this is actually the matchup of the two smallest guys in the field. Skaronko is 4'8", 90 pounds, and pitcher's 4'11", 100 pounds.
We see a bunt attempt there, the rare bunt attempt to lead off an inning, but doesn't go anywhere as Trent Skaronko is a victim of another throw from Lambert's. Lambert's product behind the plate. Here is Ellis Freeman.
Well, we've been talking about
Mason Lancaster, that's who was behind the plate.
We've been talking about guys that have been at LakePoint, gone out to other places.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of guys in college. One of them being Jackson Rose, who went to Etowah.
Yes.
His dad is actually coaching for this 643 team.
Wow. But doesn't have a son on the team, right?
No, just doing it for the love of the game.
There you go.
I say there is a guy who goes to Etowah.
Yes.
On the team, but
yeah,
no,
Ehlers.
Yeah.
His dad's a coach at the middle school.
Yep.
His son actually graduated high school with me. His wife, the player's mom, actually taught with my mom at an elementary school.
I believe she's the tennis coach at Etowah. Ellis Freeman thought he had himself a walk. Instead, he's got a full count. Yeah, did an interview with Jackson Rose during the battle for Bartow last year. He's going to miss when he does get that walk after all. Of course, one of the oddities there with Jackson Rose is the first player that North Carolina alum Greg Robinson's ever actually sent from Etowah to North Carolina.
Indeed.
Hit a home run in the College World Series in the 70s. We're now back to the top of the order for 6-4-3 and Carter Chillian. Walton 20-30, try to move that runner along. Give 6-4-3 that lead again that they seized in the first inning, only to see it taken away in the second. Frost has lived with that secondary stuff. He misses outside, counts now 2-0. I've already seen more pitches in this game without a guy losing his hat than I think I saw all of last year. I think the optics of losing your hat when you're throwing is supposed to represent exertion. So we saw a lot of guys last year rearing back and throwing and making their hat fly off.
I believe you gained 5 miles per hour when you do so.
All right, there you go. That's a strike on a 3-0 count, the biggest strike zone in the world coming on 3-0, and Frost taking advantage.
I was going to say, second time the umpires made a little bit of a late call, and the batter thought he had a walk. And there he does get the walk.
All right, so Chillian gets the walk. Now back-to-back base on balls from Frost. We'll bring up Luke Townsend. A little bit closer to Gray Cheever, who's already got himself a triple. See if he gets another opportunity here. There's that strike on the curveball for Frost. It's a thing of beauty when he works it like that.
Yeah, nice looking pitch.
Roswell Pirates back there in yellow awaiting their second game of the day. Played in that 8 a.m. game against Hitters Park, losing 7-2. Counts now 0-2 here to Townsend. Opportunity knocking here for 6-4-3. That's a move that makes a coach nervous when you're thrown over to first and you got a runner at second. All right, the 0-2 to Townsend awaits. Frost gets him reaching on that one, goes foul. Nearly swung out of his shoes on that one. You can already see the depth there in center field. Again, I think as these guys get more experience, you're going to see them covering more ground. Dribble to short. Oh, he can't make the handle on it. Bases are going to be loaded. He really had an opportunity to try to turn a double play and end this inning, but now 6-4-3's got the bases loaded with Evan Odell stepping in. Just a tough play there. Had to be quick to the handle to try to get the runner at second. Just moved a little bit too quick. Now the bases are loaded. Odell to Walton 20-30. See if he can cash in. He's 0 for 1. 31 pitches so far for Frost, who came in the second.
You saw him go for breaking ball there on that first pitch. Typically, he's gone fastball. It's the first breaking ball he's thrown on the first pitch that hasn't landed for a strike. So I think he's clearly getting a little frazzled as he's got the bases loaded behind him.
Yeah, speaking of getting frazzled, last night, to go back to the World Baseball Classic, everyone was talking about Contreras and that forkball, a pitch that he had learned from his dad. He ran through his grips when I had him here in studio, pitch he's been working on since he was 9 years old. But you could see when he put his hand down, he had the grip of his index and middle fingers spread across the ball and then through the – so I think you can get so nervous, even a guy of that level – in that situation, you kind of lose your mind and you're giving everything away off the separation from hand to glove. All right, 3-0 count. Last thing he wants to do is walk Odell and give 6-4-3 the lead. That's in for a strike.
Big pitch coming up here for Frost. We just saw his catcher go up and talk to him, probably try to calm him down.
Yep.
But so far, strike zone's been in his favor on this count.
Defensive swing. That would have been ball 4. But Odell fouls it off, and the count's now full. That was up near his head.
Yeah, it was. He chopped at that one.
Opportunity. The attempt at opportunity taken over for his sensibilities there, and now counts full. Gets him reaching again. Goes low on that secondary pitch.
I was thinking about you talked about you don't know if you've ever seen black uniforms with blue accents.
Yep.
I was thinking the Detroit Lions. They're the only team I can actually
There
think
you go.
of with black uniforms and blue accents.
Nice.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Honolulu blue.
Well, it depends how you want to gauge the Carolina Panthers colors. That one is in play. Third base has it. Throws the second in time to get one out. The throw to first is in time. They got the double play to end the inning. Is the run going to count?
No, the ball got away from him, I think.
Ball. Oh, wow,
Yeah.
the ball did get away from him. Looked there like we had the inning-ending double play, so we get the ball away from the first baseman. Run does score. 6-4-3's got a 2-1 lead with runners at the corners and 2 outs.
I think 2 runs might have scored, right?
Oh, yeah, 2 runs did score. Looked as though that we were going to get out of that thing, but now they've got a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, I don't think it was that the throw got away from the first baseman. He just didn't get his glove on it. And, yeah, it went right by him and allowed another run to score.
Wow. Well, Gray Cheever's got a chance here. He's already got himself an RBI triple. That misses low.
Good take from him.
Yeah.
That was a tempting pitch.
That sure was. Evan Odell's got himself 2 RBI. Do have an error on Hitters Park on that play. Big miss high, back pick throw to first. That one gets away from the first baseman, runner taking off for second. The throw is...
Gets away from the second baseman.
Yeah, and that one's going. They're playing pinball here, and now 6-4-3 is going to have a runner at second.
It's going everywhere except for the person's glove.
That's right.
Yeah, Frost clearly rattled right now. I think he just needs to focus on the batter at hand. He's got 2 outs. Just limit the damage as much as you can. Don't worry about Odell on second. Yeah, and you can see the pitcher's getting away from him too.
Yeah, he certainly just needs to compose himself here. I honestly have been surprised throughout this inning that we haven't seen a mound visit to try to get him to just have an opportunity to take a breath.
Yeah, the catcher went up and talked to him when the bases were still loaded, and as that one hits him.
So Cheever makes
was that a walk?
That was a walk. So Cheever makes his way down to first. He's on base for the second time today.
It almost hit him, though.
Yeah, it did.
I think he had to duck
him,
from it.
Now Andrew Mullins again. Waiting to see if we do get a mound visit here to give Frost an opportunity to just breathe. That'll be a strike in the outside. So nearly misses glove side, but just gets that call in the outside corner now. 0-1 here to Mullins, who's 0 for 1.
About 2/3 of the time we'll see him go fastball on this pitch. We'll see if he can keep that under control here.
Tries to go to the same spot. Nearly gets away from his catcher. (3-1) now the lead for 6-4-3. They've scored 2 runs here in this inning. One coming off of an error.
And 2 men on right now. Still trying to paint the
There's
outside.
a throw down to second. Plenty of time. They got him, and that will bring it into the inning. Nice throw. We've seen great work behind the plate for Hitters Park so far in this one. 3-1 is the lead for 6-4-3 as we move along to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We've got a lot more coming your way here from LakePoint Sports.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you as we move along to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Once again, Brody Lopez on the mound for 6-4-3. He's got Max Emily, Caleb Frost, and Lucas Joyner to face here in the bottom of the 3rd. 6-4-3 taking a 3-1 lead in the top of the inning. That's going to be a strike. Emily at the plate, a Wes Forsyth 2030. Miss from Lopez makes it 1-1.
I think Hitters Park has hit every single Forsyth. They have east, west, and north, and central. So, yeah, that's all of them. And south.
All of them.
It's pretty impressive.
Community-minded. That's outside the glove of Lopez. Second has it. Throw is in time. That'll be out number 1. So Carter Chillian with a throw over to Ellis Freeman for out number 1. And now Caleb Frost, who we saw take over on the mound last couple innings for Hitters Park. Harking back to Forsyth, he is Central Forsyth.
And it feel good for Frost to get on base here, try and jumpstart his offense after, like you said, he was on the mound, giving up those couple runs.
Tough strike zone for Lopez here with a 4-11 batter.
But also the umpire has been a little bit generous on some calls.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can look to expand it. He tries the outside.
I think that's a strike if the catcher gloves that.
Well, and he was calling that a strike for Frost too.
I think that's a strike if he holds on. But it'll be 1-1. See the lower setup here from this catcher now. And you notice, I know across the last, I'd say, generation of catchers, you've seen a lot more of that kind of split stance where they'll kick the leg out like we're seeing right now.
Right.
Going back to my conversations with Gavin Green, he said, wait till this play is underway. Shortstop has it, loses his lid, throw is not going to be in time and bounce her to first, and Frost beats that out. Gavin Green was telling me he and his dad, Todd Green, former Major League catcher largely with the Yankees, they've really worked on him just keeping a traditional catcher stance because so many guys these days are lowering themselves for those secondary pitches that, he says it's a lost art to kind of just be that normal setup catcher anymore. All right, so Frost, I believe, just got – did he get a courtesy runner as the pitcher? I believe he did. Go out here and have a conversation with Lopez after that play. We're back to the top of the order for Hitters Park, which is Lucas Joyner. Got Andrew Hilberger behind him.
Okay, as we wait around here real quick,
yeah,
I have a little questionnaire.
Nice.
Would you rather play in the World Cup, the World Baseball Classic, or play flag football in the Olympics?
World Cup.
I think I'd rather do the flag football in the Olympics. You can win an Olympic gold medal.
That's true. I don't think flag football would be my Olympic sport of choice, though.
No.
What would your Olympic choice be? Rowing?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Also swimming. I always love watching swimming. It's a lot of fun.
Jack, what would they have to be an Olympic sport that you feel like you would be an effective representative of the United States? Joyner skies that. Oh, nearly had a collision. Second base gloves that one, so now 2 out. Like they're adding flag football. The reason I asked that is they're adding flag football to basically say, hey, NFL players.
Right.
Let's put you on the world
stage.
Here's
your opportunity, yeah.
Like we did with basketball in the 90s.
Right.
Let's go dominate in something that we basically created.
That's right.
And now we're going to do so with flag football.
That's right.
So I'm asking for the common man, what would be the sport that they could enter into the Olympics
That's
that
a
you
good
feel
point.
like a normal U.S. Because you're going to see people, and I know we're going to go through the commercial break in this conversation. You're going to see people during the Olympics on flag football, and they're going to be like, yeah, he's a plumber.
Yep.
In Yugoslavia, but now he's playing flag football at the Olympic level. So you're going to see. So what would be the sport that we wouldn't have necessarily professionals for, but we would put normal people out there to try to partake in? I would say
cricket, maybe.
I play cornhole, so maybe we go cornhole.
Darts.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah,
darts,
you could
cornhole.
You could go to local pubs and find dart players.
100%.
And those would be like, this guy runs an electrical company.
Yep.
By day, and at night he's out there winning.
Not
US
his full-time
Olympics.
job.
Yeah.
Hot dog eating contest.
Yes. We would totally win that one.
Yeah, well, I think
we would win that one in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but I think there's some countries that would take offense if we made eating considering lack of food from a global perspective
that is a good point.
We've made gluttony an Olympic endeavor.
We're also adding lacrosse too.
Yeah, there's another one. I think sneaky that Great Britain will be very good.
Okay.
Lacrosse.
Well, actually, lacrosse, that's the national sport of Canada.
There you go. Okay, so Canada. I think Canada, U.S., and I think
is it really?
It really is.
I think you're going to see some European teams be better than anticipated.
Yeah. No, I agree. It'll be interesting to watch. I'm trying to think if there's any other one. I think there was one more that's being added back.
Baseball is being added back.
Yeah. Is it? Okay. Yeah.
Baseball didn't participate, or there wasn't baseball in the last set of Olympics. I think maybe last 2.
Tokyo, I think there was
flag football, squash.
I was going to say squash.
So you could find like some retirees in the U.S. that have been playing squash forever, and then they would go and
absolutely.
What is squash?
It's very similar to racquetball.
Yeah, like
like you kind of play it in essentially a.
It's a racket sport played by 2 singles or 4-player doubles in a 4-walled court with a small hollow rubber ball. So think about like that. There's like that highlight game that they show on they used to show on like some of the old regional networks, where it would have like the glass walls and like all the crazy lights and stuff. Squash is kind of like that, but without the curved thing in your hand.
So it's like wall ball, but with a racket.
Sure.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. And I think the ball is about the same size as a racquetball.
Yeah.
So just a little. I mean, it looks like a giant bouncy ball, kind of.
Yeah.
But.
Our action's back here. We do have another pitcher on the mound now for Hitters Park. And that's Mason Lancaster, who
from catcher to pitcher.
Yep, went from catcher to pitcher, and man, he was a beast behind the plate those first 3 innings for Hitters Park, and now he takes over on the mound for Caleb Frost.
And it looks like Cooper Vaughn will, the 2030 out of Lambert will come catch for Lancaster.
Andrew Mullins is the player at the plate right now for 6'4", So Mullins will be followed by Ike Ellers and Cade Sunaga. Fights that one off, puts it in play. That's going to be a tough play, and we'll leave it to the umpire's reaction to see what happened there. Well, of course they got him because you're not throwing it around like that with a runner on. All right, so ground out. Our camera didn't cut over.
It really did look like he was just defending, almost playing cricket, like trying to prevent it from hitting the
He's
wicket
like, it's one of those situations where like, I'm going to fight this off till I get what I want.
Right.
And oh no, that's in play.
Yep. Like those half swing singles.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Ike Ellers, 86.9 off his bat. That one is going all the way to the wall. Ellers making his way to second. Is he going to hold there? He, in fact, does. Ellers, the Etowah 2030, got himself a 1-out double and 6-4-3 in business, already up 3-1 here in the 4th.
I didn't want to call that too early, but he put a charge.
Close.
He put a charge into that one.
That's a little bit more. They're going to say weight room when he goes back to the dugout. They're going to tell. They're going to tell Ike weight room because he gets a little bit more behind that one, and he's making the round trip around these bases. But nonetheless, he's standing to second. Opportunity here with runner scoring position for 6-4-3. It's now Cade Sunaga at the plate.
I'd say give him a year, and that one's over.
Yeah, exactly. Eller's already he's listed at 5'2", 120. So some of these measurements I think might be off because he looks a bit bigger than that.
Yeah, Ehlers he absolutely exploded on that ball.
I'll see if Sunaga can capitalize on that. We sit here on the top of the 4th.
Jack, going back to your question, I got to say it's been a lot of fun to have the Olympics in the same year as the World Baseball Classic because the Olympics are some of my favorite thing to watch. And so carrying that over, and really this is kind of the first World Baseball Classic where I really have sat down and watched the game. So I'm excited to go back to, I mean, they're going on all throughout the day today.
Hit by pitch. So Sunaga makes his way down to first, runners at first and second. I think it's only been helped because the effect of so many of these international players coming in and performing at a high level. You know, because it was always like you knew Venezuela and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic that they were going to have some guys and that you had to watch them. But then Ohtani comes in and he brings so many guys behind him, and we've just seen this globalization of the game. And we've also seen so many guys, to go back to Harry Ford, and we had this with Freddie Freeman a few years ago, that want to go play for teams that they have connections to.
Yeah,
that you know, I think it's truly helped just the optics of the event to have known commodities playing for so many of these other teams. Because it used to just be like, okay, Israel's got a team. Who's playing for this team?
Right.
You know, it's like how do you piece this thing together? But the game has certainly been elevated across the board, and now we're getting to take full advantage of it when we watch.
Well, it's so fun to watch in some countries. You're like, oh, I didn't even realize they would have enough guys to make it to, like Netherlands is a team. And I'm Dutch, and I'm like, I didn't even know they'd have enough guys to make a team. But Ozzy Albies, who is from Curacao, which is Curacao is a territory of Netherlands. So that was really fascinating to learn about. But also before the broadcast, and I haven't pulled up right now, just the global rankings and just thinking about teams outside of the World Baseball Classic who, you know, have enough guys to make a team, and, you know, like Hong Kong and Austria and Spain and France, Thailand, Peru, Croatia, just countries you're not thinking about when you're watching, you know, the Braves play the Pirates or something like that.
Yeah, and that Netherlands team, talk about connections to LakePoint sports. Drew Jones playing for Wesleyan, and his travel days was here as well on our field. So, man, just it goes on and on. And that team is sneakily loaded.
Yeah, their
infield. Is just the best way to put it. Kenley Jansen on that pitching staff. There's a lot of familiar names to Braves country on that one. Swing and a miss, of course. the Braves have so many Curacao connections through their years, but Xander Bogaerts on that team, Ozzie Albies, Chadwick Trump, Didi Gregorius, Ray Patrick Ditter, I mentioned Drew Jones.
Sedan Rafaela, he's a good one too.
Andrew Jones is their manager, so Drew's dad.
One who shall not be named.
Yep, Jair. Yeah, did you say Jair Jurgens?
I did not know.
Yeah, but former Braves pitcher as their pitching coach. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You just have so many guys now that these teams are smart enough to pull. You know, and guys want to go represent their countries now. I think, you know, you get like an Ozzie Albies, and he kind of gets sick of Acuna talking about, I'm going to go play with my Venezuela boys. And it's like, hey, wait, no, we'll see you down the line.
That's right. Well, and it's fun, too, to see some of these guys who it's like, oh, you've been out of the MLB for a few years, but you're still playing international.
That's
like
right.
Didi Gregorius is a guy who's on the Netherlands roster. I'm like, oh, I remember when he was on the Phillies and the Yankees, and now he's getting to play on the stage with guys he used to share the field with, you know. So it's fun to see that again.
There's also guys who have never stepped foot on any MLB territory at all.
That's true.
There's a guy for Cuba who's played the most games in any World Baseball Classic. He has the most home runs in all of the World Baseball Classic, and he's never played in the MLB. He's only played professional league in Cuba.
Wow.
This is Bates Rabin at the plate now, facing Lambert. Product Mason Lancaster. Get a 1-1 count. 3-1 the lead. Still got runners at first and second here for 6-4. Second and third, excuse me, for 6-4-3, both advancing off of a wild pitch.
I don't know a ton about how the qualifications work for the World Baseball Classic, but there's 20 teams, and the only 2 teams in the top 20 that didn't make it are China and Germany. So Israel and Brazil are 21 and 22, so they made it instead. Again, not exactly sure how that works, but pretty interesting.
2-1 count. Swing, miss, evens it up. Yeah, I'm sure if we were to go back through every one of these rosters, we'd find some LakePoint connection to nearly all these teams. I would assume when we're looking at Australia that Graham Lloyd's their bullpen coach. Thought for sure that we'd see Peter Moylan helping out there, but Travis Bazana out of Oregon State on that squad. Got a 3-2 count. That's going to be put in play. That's driven into the glove of the... Oh, man, nearly made a fantastic catch. Gets out of the reach of the shortstop, and we're going to have another run for 6-4-3. Now runners at the corners. Man, nearly made a fantastic diving catch, but just out of the reach of the glove of the Hitters Park shortstop, and that's going to result in another run for 6-4-3. So they lead now 4-1. And it's Trent Skaronko, the catcher. So Lancaster's got in store for him to start off this AB. Another defensive. We've seen a lot of defensive swings. I think Lancaster making for some uncomfortable ABs with his ability to go in and out.
Well, and also think about it. He's had, what, 3 innings now where he's been seeing the batters from the other side of the plate.
Right,
so he's got a really interesting perspective, you know, now that he's on the other side of the mound to, what these batters like and don't like.
Dicey throw there behind the plate with a runner at third, but it works out, able to get him trying to steal second. But 6-4-3, it leads 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. We got a lot more coming your way from the season opener.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com or see your local dealer for details.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. 4-1 the lead for 6-4-3s. We set in the bottom of the sixth inning in this one, our game of the day from the season opener, setting the stage for a long stretch ahead for us, and try not to get let it sit on top of you there. We're going to pretty much have baseball now until the end of November, almost nonstop. We'll have a couple weeks off in August after we have the super sophomore games until we get into the fall schedule. But by and large, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be consumed on these 8 fields by baseball up until the fall. And it all begins here. We've certainly seen some Georgia Dugout Club stuff, but we'll see the travel scene take over these fields for the upcoming months.
And Cory, Brody Lopez is having a phenomenal game right now. That was just his 36th pitch of the day.
Jeez. He's got Will Potts right now. Will be followed by James Letts and Reed Herring.
And this is his 13th batter of the day. So that's 3-4 pitches
Yeah.
batter. That's
Wow.
very, very efficient. 2 strikeouts, giving up a single, a double, and a triple, and just the 1 run. But keeping his team confident and also moving quickly, working quickly, getting his guys back into the batter's box.
You just jinxed him because he missed wildly arm side. Well, this will be the 4th pitch now here to Potts. So a rarity in his day, we'll call it. Misses low, counts now even at 2-2.
6-4-3 has scored 4 runs on 3 hits. We know we had the one of the Hitters Park Hurricane errors that brought in 2. Hitters Park has 1 run on 3 hits. Here's another hit for him. Driven into shallow right center.
So a leadoff single for Potts. And he'll now give way to James Letts.
We were talking about fathers and sons on Brazil. One of the other sets of fathers and sons for Brazil is the Ramirez family. Manny Ramirez's son, Lucas. Manny Ramirez, 12-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner. His son had 2 home runs last night. So
wow.
I guess that power runs in the family.
And you mentioned James Letts at the plate, that his dad's one of the coaches for Hitters Park. So father-son connections here as well. Runner advanced to second off the wild pitch. So now a 1-1 count here to the North Forsyth 20-30. Stands 5'11", 201. You want James Letts on your offensive line.
And World Baseball Classic action for today, was already underway at 5 a.m.
Sure.
But the next game, Colombia and Canada, has started. They are bottom of the 1st inning. Tyler O'Neill's at bat for Canada.
Who's pitching for Colombia in that one? Because we mentioned when we were looking through the rosters that former Brave Julio Teheran.
Austin Bergner.
Okay.
Have not heard of him before, but
Lopez in that low setup. It's another defensive swing as that one goes foul from Letts. Pot standing at second, reaching on a leadoff single into right field and advancing off a wild pitch. The shortstop in his back pocket. Second base has it on the run, throws the first in time. Runner does advance to third, so a productive out advances the runner, and Hitters Park closer to their second run of the game with now one down here in the fourth. We'll bring up Reed Herring. It's going to be a strike. You familiar with the term red herring? You know, some they use it as a distraction. So if you take Reed Herring's name and you take the I out, you've got a red herring. So him swinging trying to get him to do a hit and run would be a distraction term.
Put him on the base paths.
He does. He actually does it right there. So he gets a distraction of them trying to throw to first base and get him out. But a run does score for Hitters Park. So Reed Herring with the red herring gets the out at first, and we've got a 4-2 game. That was called foreshadowing.
That's right. I think that's the first run for Hitters Park since the
second inning.
Since the second inning, yeah.
So now cuts the lead to 2.
Lopez is having to work a little bit more in this bottom of the fourth. And, of course, right at the beginning of the inning, I was talking about how well he was doing.
Jack Raiden Shugart at the plate. East Forsyth, 2030. The measurement's definitely off. They've got Jack at 5'5", 125, but I definitely think that's wrong. That one is driven in left field. That's going to be in bouncer to the center fielder, and Shugart's going to be aboard with a 2-out single.
Shugart doing a nice job of extending the inning. Yeah. Easily the most people I think Hitters Park has sent to the plate in one inning.
So they're doing damage here with some outs on the board. And that'll be Cooper Vaughn.
And Vaughn, we mentioned, is the new catcher now that Lancaster has been pitching.
One-0 count to Vaughn. Runner taken off for second. Catcher's going to hold it, frustrated when himself that falls out of his glove. So Shugart advances to second. So another runner in scoring position for Hitters Park. They've been able to extend this inning. Been the longest inning that we've seen so far against Lopez. This is the 5th batter he's faced in this inning, as we said here in the 4th.
And this will be the 53rd pitch that he's thrown. He started the inning at 35. So as you said, easily the most work he's done in a half inning to this point.
I think Vaughn was a little confused in the count. I think he already thought that was ball 4. Looked like he was ready to flip the bat towards his dugout. The count's only 3-1 with 2 down. And now he gets to flip it towards his dugout and head down to first base. So you'll have Vaughn at first, Shugart at second. And now Trent Daubie steps in. The Lambert 2030. First prep baseball event for him, so Trent, welcome to LakePoint Sports. We'll go out and have a conversation here with Lopez. See if this is just, nope, here comes Coach as well. See if Lopez is allowed to continue. Again, he's been awfully effective. This is the only real stress pitches that we've seen out of him here sitting in the 4th. As you mentioned, the pitch count climbing. And as we cut back there, you can see so many cars at the Champion Center. The Woven Women Conference going on over the Champion Center this weekend. On his Facebook page, it aims to define, understand, and live out biblical womanhood as women in Christ, woven in truth and woven together. They had their night one of their event last night, and look, just an absolute packed house from everything that we're seeing over there. And our CEO, Mark O'Brien, actually sent me a photo of a studio setup that they have in there. So they're going all out for this thing. They've got a nice setup for interviews over there. So a lot going on over the Champion Center, and I'm sure everybody in attendance enjoying themselves. All right, so Lopez does get to continue on the mound. He's got traffic on the base pass. Trent Daubie at the plate. We've seen 1 run plated for Hitters Park here in this 4th. Cut the lead to 2, see if they can eat into that a little bit more. Ball gets away from the catcher. Both runners will advance now 90 feet away from that 3rd run. See the sun starting to break out here amongst these clouds.
I was going to say, I could just feel it right here coming into the booth. But
and man, there was some nasty weather last night. So
yeah,
see some
that's the most lightning I've seen in a while. It was pretty impressive. My family was texting about a huge tornado that went through Michigan.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. Which is early for that.
Well, being an Ohio State
season.
fan, it's allowed to take away all of it. And just wipe it out. 1-1 count. Swing, a miss. Daubie's now got a 1-2 facing as he steps in.
But also, Cory, there's going to be a little bit of pressure on this this Hitters Park team. I mean, it's 11:30, so we don't have much time left in this game, and it's within 2, and there's 2 on right now. So this is a big pitch.
Yeah, you definitely brought up the big component. We've had a lot of high school games here these past few weeks, and of course you get through 7 innings in a high school game. We play hour 45 here in these travel games as we try to fit in an entire day's worth of games. So time is of the essence here for Hitters Park as we sit here in the 4th. Almost an hour and a half into game time. You can actually see on our handy dandy clock, so we've got this is about 15 minutes, we've got about 30 minutes of game time remaining. So depending on what 6-4-3 can do at the plate, Hitters Park may not get a lot more opportunities. They'll get at least, I would assume, 1 more.
And they'll want to capitalize, especially while Lopez is fatigued, not only in this game, but I mean in this inning especially. We talked about it. Well,
oh man, and that's problematic right there, because you had the catcher thought the inning was over off of a strikeout. It's instead ball 4. He spikes the ball down thinking that they had brought it into the inning. That runner at third, it started to go a little bit. Luckily, Lopez smart enough to go grab that ball and keep him from going any further. But now we have the bases loaded off that walk, and you're moving to Max Emily here with 2 down, and a real opportunity for Hitters Park here.
I'm sure the 6-4-3 coach is
beside
deep
himself.
Breaths.
Tough play. Lopez gloves it, throws the first, nearly gets away, but holds on. And nice job by Ellis Freeman holding on to that one. Strands 3. Hitters Park does get 1 run, but it's 4-2 as we move along to the 5th inning from LakePoint Sports.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for 1? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast. All while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back, Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. 6-4-3 DP leading 4-2 over Hitters Park Hurricanes as we move along to the bottom of the top of the 5th inning. Once again, gonna get an opportunity to see Mason Lancaster on the mound for Hitters Park. Came in relief. Man, get some bright sun on that field now. It's gonna be better break out the sunglasses. See a continuation of Trent Skaronko's AB, as we saw a runner thrown out at second in his last attempt to try to make something happen at the plate for 6-4-3. So he will continue here to start off the 5th inning, be followed by Ellis Freeman and Carter Chillian. And he plunks him in the back, so Skaronko waited a long time to get hit on the first pitch, make his way down to first. Now he's got Ellis Freeman stepping in. We'll see if we get a courtesy runner for the catcher or if Skaronko continues running the bases. And it looks from the hesitation there that we did get a courtesy runner for the catcher. So Skaronko an opportunity to go get his equipment on. And yep, there is our new base runner. And first baseman Ellis Freeman now at the plate made a great play to end the inning to glove a ball that was thrown kind of to the left side of the first base bag, but able to stop that and stop Hitters Park from capitalizing on a bases loaded opportunity. It's got an 0-1 count here. Carter Chillian, leadoff hitter in the on-deck circle. Quick flip over from Lancaster to first. I will continue to beat the drum this spring that I think here at LakePoint Sports we always need to hook all the first base coaches up with some kind of like a, to deliver newspapers back in the day, a like satchel bag so they can put all the equipment inside of it they get given by the players when they make their way to first. Pop out to first will be the first out of the inning because everybody's got their sliding mitt, they've got their shin guards, their elbow guards, their all the guards, and then they get to first base, and sometimes we'll see first base coaches that'll have stuff shoved in their pockets. They're like putting stuff on themselves. They've got all the things on. So I just want them to have a better existence there at first base. So I want them to let's get some bags. We'll get some baseball man purses, and they can feel a little bit better about themselves at first. And everybody's got a place to put their equipment.
They better be careful. They're going to start putting time limits on their time to get from first, from home to first.
Well, so when I was coaching, and guys would try to put their sliding mitts on when they got to first, it was like if you can't get it on in the amount of time to get the call from the third base coach, then you're not wearing a sliding mitt.
Right. Yeah.
They'll be outlawed if we can't look up quick enough to be able to get the signal because you're so worried about putting a sliding mitt on. Or we just get the oven mitts and then there's literally
those are really
nothing.
easy.
Yeah. Lot unwasted effort when you're just putting an oven mitt on. 1-1 count here at Chillian.
You could also get a little Roomba in the dugout.
That's
and
right.
Then have it go out to first, and then just put them in a basket.
Yeah. We could have advancements in technology here. So I was trying to simplify it, but you're trying to make it to add to our tech offering.
Of course, that'd be difficult with the team on the third base side.
Yeah, that's true.
Had to be a little bit of a delay of game.
Yeah. So courtesy runner takes off for second. Let's see if we can get a number on that courtesy runner when the camera cuts back. Now 3-1 count here at Chillian. And that courtesy runner is Bates Rabin. So they took the last batted out. Wasn't sure if they were going to use any bench players, but they used the last batted out. Ooh, that's a strike. Better make your way back. And now here comes the unfortunate situation for Chillian, where he already flipped the bat all the way. So he's got himself a human a human break in play here as he now has to get it and gingerly make his way back into the right side batter's box. I don't know that I've seen it to that degree. Sometimes you got to take a couple steps, but to nearly be halfway down the first baseline when you in your bat to have already made it all the way back to the dugout.
Never seen someone so excited to get to first.
Well, now he gets to do it again. Now he's holding on to the bat a little bit longer. We get a little bit more emphasis on the flip to the dugout. All right, so he's aboard via walk. So now runners at first and second. So you got Rabin at second and Chilean at first, and Luke Townsend at the plate. Break and play. Assume we're going to go out and have a conversation with Lancaster. Is this the catcher? No, coach is indeed involved. So understanding time is of the essence. You cannot, if you're Hitters Park, allow any more runs for 6-4-3 if you're going to potentially have an opportunity to fight your way back in this one. But, of course, being the home team, they will get that chance. But you cannot allow any further runs. So let's see what our clock says. We've got about 22 minutes left. So Lancaster will continue.
You got to wonder who 6-4-3 is going to go to on the mound. Whether they keep Lopez out there, I kind of doubt they will, just to get someone fresh and hopefully close out the game.
Yeah, you got to they got to play right after this. So I think for them, do you look at basically treating this as a warm up for whoever you're going to use to start the next game? Do you, and depending on because of course in these kind of games this time of year you have to think about it. If you're going to play in bracket play, we're going to have a rundown between second and third. Rabin make his way back to second. Ball goes over top, cut off, throw to third. Just like they drew it up, they get Rabin at third. And then he takes off and that ball goes over top of the cut man. Luckily, it was cut off by the outfielder who came in, and they're able to throw Rabin out at third. But a pickle won there by Hitters Park, and that's going to be a key out. But going back to knowing tomorrow that you get into bracket play and expecting you're going to be one of those teams that gets there, you need a lot of pitching to get through that day.
Right.
So you have to be really careful about how you use your arms here in pool play to get to that point and potentially have a long run. In 6-4-3, the expectation they're going to have a long run. That one is skied, center fielder, camping underneath it, and that's going to be out number 3, and that's going to bring an end to the inning. Our scoreboard was a little delayed in relaying the outs there, but it is 4-2, 6-4-3 lead. We'll be back with more from LakePoint Sports.
What's going on? I'm Austin Tambora. I'm a LakePoint athlete, and we're here to take a few swings with the new Rawlings Icon. Oh yeah, jumpy. It's kind of got a good big sweet spot. It looks inloaded, but it's really not. Oh yeah, that sweet spot's huge. Very whippy. Really just feels like a trampoline, not gonna lie. Oh yeah, that just jumps. Huge sweet spot. I kind of caught that off the end too. Oh yeah, that's easily the best bat I've ever saw. Yeah, I cut that off the end and I didn't feel anything in my hands. Oh yeah. See your ball? Oh yeah, that was perfect. All right, we just got done swinging. Feels like a trampoline, kind of feels like a drop 5. It really jumps off the bat. The swing weight of it really looks like an inloaded bat, but it's really whippy and it really doesn't feel that inloaded. In fact, I can get to the inside pitch if I'm sitting out on an outside pitch. It really does feel like a drop 5 because I would catch them off the end and it feels the exact same. I'm hanging at the barrel, same on the inside. The big back spins really well. The look of it, it's pretty sick. The teal, all this stuff on the back, feels really good. The grip, it was overall just a really, really good bat.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
back. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. 4-2 lead for 6-4-3 DP as we sit here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We've got a new arm on the mound for 6-4-3, and they have now turned things over to Carter Chillian. So Chillian, who was their leadoff hitter, now takes over. He's got Caleb Frost starting things off for Hitters Park. Frost to be followed by leadoff hitter Lucas Joyner and then Andrew Hilberger. Gets away from him. Count's going to be 2-0. Time-wise, we've got about 17 minutes left. So unless there's a long inning here for Hitters Park, which if they have a long inning probably means they're walking this thing off, we may play another inning. So we may get 6 in, which would be, I think, a record for a season opener. 3-0 count. And they changed it on the scoreboard, so before someone makes a comment on our stream, Isaac Morris is on the mound now for 6-4-3. So the 1 and the 7 looking a little bit similar.
I
so
totally
the
thought that was the
scoreboard
7.
operator initially had that as Chillian, but it was the number 1. So Isaac Morris is the new pitcher for 6-4-3 in North Paulding 2029.
One of the few 2029s.
Yep. And North Paulding, a tough squad to make. Generally one of the better teams here in the state of Georgia. Gets himself a strikeout. But Morris, big opportunity here to work his craft during the spring for 6-4-3, and he's got a strikeout here to start off the bottom of the 5th inning. And now he'll get a look at Hitters Park leadoff hitter, and who was their starting pitcher, Lucas Joyner. From Richards Christian Academy. I'm familiar with Richards Christian Academy. But they've got Lucas Joyner as a student, playing in his 3rd prep baseball event. Lucas still rocking the pink accents, so we're still seeing pink here in the spring.
A little bit of last summer.
Yeah, we always look for the trends throughout the summers here on our fields. Of course, we had the player beaded necklaces, the blingy necklaces. My wife was actually making those, the ones that were sold here at the store here at LakePoint. But those were a big deal for a while, and then we saw the hoods were quite the commodity for a bit. It was Trevor Condon, one of the guys who really kind of started that trend here, at least in Metro Atlanta. We see a lot more players with the hoods now. I haven't seen as many of those here throughout the early spring, but it's going to be a strike. We'll wait to see what the trend here this season is. I want to see stirrups. I want to see
yes.
Not like the socks with them built in, but I want the real stirrups to come back.
That would be sweet.
Joyner drives that into right field. Able to make the catch. Well struck ball, but it's just going to result in out number 2.
I've always been a fan of the high sock look, and I think the stirrups would be fantastic.
We used to have so I'm thinking that we get to the point, and this was something that played itself out during the last college football season, where we saw some of the specialists. That one is going to be popped up.
Oh wow!
Nice
Make
the catch. Nice job, second, making that catch. Getting this a little bit more I'll just set the stage. I think really high pants are going to end up being a trend that we're going to see. Now we're going to take a break. Everybody gets to think about that while we're at a commercial.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast. All while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com or see your local dealer for details.
Welcome back. Inning number 6 here in our game of the day from the season opener. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. Will Potts taking over on the mound for Hitters Park. They're going to get a look at a lefty here, which gives me an opportunity to get into my forecasting, my trend forecasting here. So during the college football season, we saw punters, kickers would have those shorts that when we've seen guys with the pants above the knee. But I'm wondering if we see them start to trick up and almost be more like shorts, because they're going to make guys faster when we're out here trying to tear up the base pass and make plays in the outfield. Where do you guys stand? Could that be something that we see as a trend here? Shorter pants, but I mean, maybe it's going to necessitate wearing tights underneath it. So the socks may not be long enough. What's the potential? 1 to 10, what's the potential on this being a trend?
-500.
All right, so Jack coming with the heat.
I don't know if I would go quite that heavy, but I just cannot imagine that on a baseball uniform.
Yeah, well, we're getting close. We just saw the shortstop's got him pretty high up.
He does have him pretty high up.
But I will say, for one, if it's a trend, that means a ton of people are doing it.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
Just a couple.
But the thing is, once you have we get to NPI and you've got those real high level players, one of them is going to do something or have something, and that's going to be what all the other guys are going to see on social, and that's going to be the trend.
I mean, we saw it last year and the year before with Trevor Kahn and the
Hood.
Kate.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier.
Kate,
I think
yeah.
I'm not sure where you were at on that one, but we were already talking about that. But that's kind of where things lie here, is that we'll have the high school guys, and we get these younger travel events, and then we get to the ones where the high school guys start coming back for the travel events. The coaches are a little bit more lax than they are in the high school season. These guys get to express themselves a little bit more, and that's when we truly see style play out here on our fields, ground out to start off the inning.
But I will say, if it's so hot,
yeah,
that you have to find socks tall enough.
I said you can wear tights underneath.
But if it's tights, then that's going to make it hotter.
No,
it is
because it's going to make it hotter because you're going to have more layers.
Breathability.
It's going to be like.
So you guys are probably don't even we're probably too young to remember this, but the White Sox in the 70s wore shorts. And they had white uniforms with shorts, and the problem with
they also wore short shorts and basketball.
Ooh, that's ripped into left field. That's going to be down for a base hit. Nice job by Odell delivering that one. But the problem with what the White Sox did is they didn't have leg protection. So if they could put something underneath it, a la tights, you've now created an entirely new dynamic and an entirely new baseball style. See, there you go. You've got them pulled up. If they had longer pants underneath there, I think it's viable.
That just, wow.
I think that makes that.
I gotta say, I like the actual kind of scheme of the uniforms. I mean, the uniforms have collars, which I think looks really nice.
Well, famously, they tried to wear those as throwbacks, and Chris Sale ripped his to shreds. He refused to wear it, and it was a big to-do.
You're going to be comfortable, but at the same time, one, you're not protecting your legs. Two,
but you wear pants. You'll have something. I'm not saying expose legs,
but what I'm trying to say is if you have the tights on, it's just going to get hot.
Yeah.
You're going to get hot. You can't stop it. It's going to be 98 degrees. It's Georgia, so it's going to be humid. I say humid. It's going to be humid for everyone not from here. The people from California are used to the dry heat.
Yeah.
Here it's going to be
And that was Gray Cheever, by the way, that roped that ball into left field. Our scoreboard said that it was Ethan Odell if they hadn't progressed. So we currently have Mullins at the plate, and that one is driven into left field. That's going to be caught. Cheever's going to hold at second. So he's had a 2-hit day as he makes his play for player of the game in this one. Of course, he got an RBI triple in his first trip to the plate. And, man, it is getting awfully bright on those fields. And that's
some of the players are disappearing.
Yeah, and that's problematic for those outfielders, because when you start a game when it's overcast and maybe you didn't bring your sunglasses out with you, but they certainly need it now.
Well, and on top of, like we talked about at the beginning of the game, playing on a field that you're a bigger field than you're used to, you can get lost and you can get blinded out there.
That's right. Ike Ellers at the plate again. Saw Ike come through with a double in his last trip to the plate. Ike, not a name you hear too often anymore. That's a big, strong throwback name, hearkening to glory days, to a simpler time. Bouncer, the catcher cuts it off.
It is a good name. And actually, Cory, fun fact about Ike, I know I mentioned this to you before in one of the breaks, but he was born on 11/11/11.
Wow, very cool.
Going to have to wait a long time before we get those kind of birthdays
That's right.
again. And one of the last opportunities he could, the last one was 12/12/12. Nobody that I can see who was born then in this game. It's going to be a pretty fun birthday.
Yeah. Make a wish. So we saw Mason Lancaster catch the first three innings.
Mm-hmm.
Then he pitched. Now he's back behind the plate again. So for Mason Lancaster's next feat, he'll go take a nap. Certainly earned a second game of the day for Hitters Park. Again, they were 7-2 winners over Roswell Pirates Black. And that's the team that awaits 6-4-3 after this one. They're playing back-to-back games. Now 1-2 count. We're down to about 5 minutes on the clock, so we will have this game wrap up with Hitters Park's AB to end the 6th inning. We'll see which direction that goes and what kind of a deficit that they have to play with, as we've got some traffic on the base paths for 6-4-3, already leading 4-2.
Cory, as someone who's a little more unfamiliar with this format, what does happen if Hitters Park ties it up here?
Then they just set a tie. So
okay.
the two teams will have a tie on their ledger in pool play. And next to it, they say, kissing your cousin, nobody wants a tie.
That's right.
So 6-4-3 trying to hold on, give themselves a 1-0 lead to start their day as they'll go into that matchup with Roswell Pirates. It's going to be a good-looking game with Roswell Pirates wearing yellow and the baby blue, a la the Phillies and Ole Miss. And that one is into center field. Can he make a catch? He does. That will end the inning. So 6-4-3 denied some insurance runs, but they still are up by 2. It all comes down to this for 6-4-3 in Hitters Park Hurricanes when we come back with the bottom of the 6th from the season opener.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
The game of the day in the season opener. Cory McCartney, Will Hoogendyk, Jack McCartney with you. 4-2 lead for 6-4-3 DP. They are turning once again to Isaac Morris at the plate. Meanwhile, for Hitters Park, they've got Will Potts, who was the pitcher in the last half an inning, leading things off here in the bottom of the sixth. Potts to be followed by James Letts and Reed Herring. That's a strike out of the hands of Morris to even the count at 1-1. Morris, an effective first inning of work, taking over in the fifth. Misses high, count now 2-1. Pretty day here at LakePoint Sports, so we have certainly taken advantage of some really nice weather here in these first weeks of action for us on these fields. And that one is driven into center field. A diving attempt at a catch. Did he make it? He did. What a great job in center field. Gray Cheever, who we've already talked about, a guy working on player of the game, makes a fantastic defensive catch in center field. And, man, that guy's just having an absolute day for himself.
It's not a bad resume builder right there. And, I mean, obviously a huge play, even though it's only the first out, but to just cut any momentum that Hitters Park wanted to maybe even bring into this inning.
And nothing quite demoralizing for an offense that think you got some traffic to start off a key inning, and then you watch a guy make just a fantastic defensive effort to rob you of that hit. So now one down for James Letts. And the best friend that Isaac Morris could have asked for out there in center field. 2-0 count. Getting ahead of myself now at 2-0 count. If you're joining us for the first time, our scoreboard is about 5 seconds ahead of the actual camera work because these cameras are AI, so they're a tiny bit delayed. These scoreboards are operated by the individuals in our scout tower, so those are real time. Now 3-0 count. So if you look up and see an exit velo on there before the pitch is delivered, we're just giving you a precursor to pay attention. Count is now 3-0. That one's driven foul. Makes it 3-1. Been a well-played game here for our first bit of travel action for the season.
Yeah, very tight game. We saw 6-4-3 score one in the first. Hitters Park came back in the second to tie it up. Then 6-4-3 came back on 2 runs. And then both teams with a run in the fourth inning to put it where we're at now at 4-2.
So Letts draws the 1-out walk. We're going to go out here and have a word with Morris. So Reed Herring now steps in. Jack Raiden Shugard in the on-deck circle. And this is the part of the order that we saw do some damage to get the second run for Hitters Park. Herring, though, steps in. He's 0-2. So Morris sticking out there again. I would not be surprised if you happen to watch the second game played by 6-4-3 that Isaac Morris either gets the start or anticipates that he's going to pitch again in that one, because just arms are a commodity in these short tournaments like this, and getting 2 innings of work could basically just be the opportunity for Morris to be fresh going into the second game today. Herring has to step out. That one up near his head.
This will be Morris's 21st pitch.
Gets away from the catcher. Runner is going to take off for second, so trucking his way into scoring position. So the tying run now stands at the plate. See if Herring, the North Forsyth 2030, can move that runner along. That'll be a strike, makes it 2-1. And that catch by Gray Cheevers in center field just looming so large. That's in play. Third base has it, throws. First base, can he get there in time? He, in fact, does. Man, we have seen some great defensive work at first base from Ellis Freeman. That was a really tough play, and as opposed to just kind of sticking your ground, he's smart enough to make the play. And, you know, most of the time you see the stretch coming out. We saw the stretch going towards the bag from foul territory, but a gigantic out for 6-4-3. Hitter's able to send that runner to third, but, man, the pressure now on as they turn to Jack Raiden Shugart.
Yeah, that's a huge play for 6-4-3. And, I mean, like you were saying, very conscious of the first baseman to step off, still get the tag in time. Because that's a very easy play to also rush. And, you know, considering the situation, you got a guy going from second to third, you're down by 2. This is the last bats of the game.
I think instinctively you get the ball and you try to run to the base. You try to rush towards it.
Right.
But Freeman just smart enough to just stick his leg out and let the stretch do the talking. Third base has it. That will bring an end to this one. 6-4-3 holds on. Isaac Morris pumping his glove. And they are 4-2 winners over Hitters Park as that brings an end to our game of the day here in the season opener. We're going to take a break in studio. When we come back, we're going to talk player of the game and so much more. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports. At the Rawlings store here in the LakePoint Sports Campus with LakePoint athlete Dom Rossi here to do some glove shopping. Dom, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, Dom, primarily a catcher. We've got you here with the catcher's mitts. What do you specifically look for in a catcher's mitt that may be different than what you're looking for as a pitcher and a position player?
Well, catcher mitt's way different than any other position mitt, right? So I like a 33-inch. I don't really have a preference on what it looks like. Rawlings preferably, but I just like that it has a good pocket and that it'll make a good sound when I catch it.
Rawlings, of course, is the Gold Glove company. What's the best defensive play you've ever made in a game?
Probably blocked a curveball and the runner tried to steal second and just scooped it up and threw him out. Probably one of those athletic plays like that.
Now comes the best part. We're going to get you on Rawlings' website and you're going to get to customize either a Gamer XLE, a Rev 1X, Heart of the Hide, or Pro Preferred. The best part, Rawlings is going to send you that glove. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Well, I already have a Heart of the Hide, so we could do Pro Preferred here. Go black web. I think most of this glove's going to be black, but could do a little pink here. The stamping, I like when it's indented. I think it looks a little bit cooler. Go 2-3, that's my travel number. And then for my logo, I just put the cherries. Any words I want on, I'll just put on Dom Rossi. And that's it.
All right, Dom, we've taken you glove shopping. You've gone on a Rawlings website, customized that glove. You feeling pretty good about the selection?
Yeah.
All right, we cannot wait to see that thing in action, man.
All right.
Dom, appreciate you going glove shopping.
Of course, thanks for having me.
In studio with Colin White, Harrison 2026 Florida signee and the 10th ranked left-hander in the nation. Colin, man, good to see you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You have been a fixture here at LakePoint and on the national radar. Preseason All-State as a freshman and a sophomore, top 10 player in talent-rich Georgia. Senior year's here. Why does it feel different?
Man, it feels surreal. This is kind of my last ride. I am a reclass, so I have had a lot of time to just kind of sit, and I have had a few injuries, so I've been rehabbing. So it's just so nice to have a great, healthy season and keep pushing forward towards that.
Tell me about that reclass process, like mentally. What does a player go through?
Yeah, so 8th grade, I was just having some arm problems, and it was really tough. All my friends, they're at college now, but it's nice to just be around a different group of people and just be healthy for some seasons and keeping the arm
And
up.
a lot of guys will flip it, right? And they're giving up that senior year.
Yeah.
And they don't get to do prom and homecoming and all that kind of. I mean, at least you get to experience all the fun stuff of being a
Yes,
senior,
sir.
right? So you're coming off of a Super 60 earlier this month. Made some big waves. Fastball up to 94.4. The slider was the real eye opener there. One, how did you feel about your performance? And then take me inside, particularly that day. What was working so well on that pitch?
Yeah, honestly, I felt like I left a lot out at the table at PBR, the Super 60. Definitely had some stuff to work on, but overall, I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy that I was pounding the zone and showing a good slider there. But I definitely have some things to work on for sure.
It is a crazy environment because, future games is one thing. You've got hundreds of college coaches here. But when you do Super 60, it's you and it's nothing else, and it's all these eyeballs on you. How did you approach that situation when you watched all these other guys and are like, man, I'm about to get on that mound and shove?
Yeah, honestly, when I pitch, I try to tune out the scouts as much as possible, and I feel like I've definitely grown towards that and done a better job at that. So it wasn't too big a deal for me, but definitely seeing all those people back there, I definitely had to lock in for sure.
Well, it made some waves, as I said. On a Harrison team that's opened up 20th in prep baseball, Georgia's Power 25. I know you guys have aspirations of being higher, but tell me why you think this team this year is prepped for a really long postseason run.
Yeah, first off is the chemistry. I feel like all of us are very close. And we work hard every day. We show up every day, and just the talent we have 4 arms that are committed. So definitely towards region play, we're gonna ramp it up, and I think we're gonna show out for sure.
I saw this Q&A that you did. So you were number 12 because of Tom Brady, huh? So how do you take? Obviously, completely different sport, but the mentality and the approach of him was legendary. How do you take that and kind of have the baseball version of that when you take the mound?
Yeah, so I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. I've been a Patriots fan my whole life, and Tom Brady's definitely a guy I looked up to. Just having all the Super Bowl parties and just looking at him competitive, even during the Falcons game, 28-3, he never backed down. So that's definitely a guy that one of my heroes for sure.
And I also saw you want to be a veterinarian.
I love animals.
Okay, how long has that been something that you've kind of thought on the back burner there, that, hey, when baseball's no longer on the cards?
I feel like for a while now, my love, we have 3 dogs. One recently just passed away, but just my love for animals is just something that I really take compassion of, just helping animals. If I see a dog on the side of the road, I'll definitely stop and try to take it to a shelter. That's just something that I take pride in.
So it's real puppy love.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, one of the things I love to do with guys is play a random question. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you 3 numbers, and then we've got 3 questions that will correspond to this. These were all created by ChatGPT, so you're not allowed to blame me for these questions. Your numbers are 4, 52, and 56. So we're going to start off with number 4 here with Colin White. You can steal one pitch or one tool from another player at any level. What would you do?
I would say Chris Sale's slider.
Ooh.
For sure.
With your length, that would be absolutely nasty.
Yeah, that's definitely someone I looked up to my whole life, and just looking at that slider on television or even seeing it live, it's just been a pitch that I've been trying to almost replicate for sure.
That's a good one. All right, number 52. If your life were a sports movie, what would it be called?
I would say just one step at a time.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just I feel like throughout my career, I've just had to kind of keep my head down and work and rehab, and that's just something I'm very proud of and that I take pride in.
Number 56. What's your most ridiculous pregame ritual?
I would say pre-workout before I pitch.
Is there a specific brand?
Bucked Up.
Okay. What about, is there flavor?
No flavor. I just need me some pre-workout, get some energy in me.
But you're mixing it with something, right? You're not just like...
Oh, I'll dry scoop it.
Will you really?
Yeah, but I'll throw some water down after.
Okay. Does it hit you differently when you do it like that?
Not necessarily. It's just the easiest way to get it down the quickest, honestly.
All right. He is Colin White, man. Appreciate it so
sir.
much.
Thank
Great
you
stuff,
so much.
man. Best of luck this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
DP over Hitters Park Hurricanes in our season opener, and really well played game. We saw some big moments in this one, and I just thought both sides just going down to the final pitch. This was exceptionally well played for a season opener.
Yeah, honestly saw more baseball than we thought we would.
Yep.
We got almost a full 6 innings. And, yeah, really back and forth game. 6-4-3 was really in the driver's seat, and that's a big thanks to Brody Lopez. He had phenomenal pitching all day for them, but Hitters Park stayed in it, and final score, like you said, 4-2. So it was close from the first pitch to the last out.
Let's talk player of the game in this one, and I thought undeniable that Lassiter 2030 Gray Cheever was going to be our player of the game. Comes through with that big moment to get the first run of the game, or an RBI triple, and then if you had to top that off, the best way to do it is some fantastic glove work. We saw that on him with a diving catch in center field in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, no, his plays did a great job of bookending the win for 6-4-3. Like you mentioned, the first RBI and then that last big play really for them to also really silence the Hitters Park. Like we talked about, any momentum they may have had or hoped to have was really cut short right off the bat there with Cheever's big catch.
Well, a big win for 6-4-3 DP, and that's going to potentially lead them into pool play, which will continue throughout the day today, and in a bracket play with the top 9 overall teams starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday. The title game will be slated for 6 p.m. If you can't make it out to the Baseball Village for that one, you can find all those games live and on demand with LakePoint Live, powered by Aware TV and Pixelot. And, of course, you'll be able to find our interview with Gray across all of our social media channels, so make sure you come and check that out. We'll be back with you next weekend for the Shamrock Classic. Make sure you're following LakePoint Sports on all of our social media channels for tune-in information. Until next time, for Will Hoogendyk and producer Jack McCartney, I'm Cory McCartney, and for now, we're signing off for LakePoint Sports.